Hey there, welcome to AI Unplugged, where we look into the fascinating world of artificial intelligence. I'm your host, Nova, and today we're diving into something that affects almost every interaction you have with AI systems, even though you might not realize it. Have you ever wondered why your virtual assistant sometimes seems to get you perfectly, while other times it completely misses the mark? Or why the same chatbot might give you brilliant answers on one topic, but seem clueless on another? The answer lies in something called the Model Context Protocol, a fascinating framework that determines how AI models understand and adapt to different situations. Think of it as the social intelligence of artificial intelligence. And trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll never look at your smart devices the same way again. So grab your favorite snacks, get comfortable, and let's break down the invisible rules that govern how AI understands your world. Let's start with the basics. The Model Context Protocol isn't actually a single official standard. It's more like a set of principles and practices that determine how AI models interpret and respond to different contexts. You know how you might speak differently when you're in a job interview versus hanging out with friends? Or how you understand that "it's hot in here" could mean "please open a window" rather than just a statement about temperature? That's context at work in human communication. And AI systems need their own version of this ability. At its core, the Model Context Protocol is about making sure AI systems can recognize and adapt to different situations appropriately. It's the difference between an AI that rigidly follows the same approach regardless of circumstances, and one that can flex and respond intelligently based on what's happening around it. You might be thinking, but Nova, isn't this just basic machine learning? Well, yes and no. While learning from data is fundamental to AI, the Model Context Protocol specifically focuses on how models handle different environments and situations, not just patterns in data, but the ever-changing nature of the world they operate in. Let me share a quick story that illustrates why context is so crucial. A friend of mine was using an AI assistant to help plan a dinner party. When she asked for recipe suggestions, the AI gave her perfect options based on her previous cooking history. Great. But when she asked the same AI to help calculate portions for 8 people, it suggested amounts that would feed a small army. What happened? The AI missed the context that this was the same dinner party conversation. It treated the portion question as a brand new query without the context of the earlier discussion. This is exactly the kind of problem the Model Context Protocol aims to solve. It's about maintaining continuity and relevance across interactions, just like you would expect from a human assistant. And this matters far beyond just convenience. Think about AI in healthcare that needs to know a patient's full medical history to make safe recommendations, or autonomous vehicles that need to understand not just what's happening on the road right now, but what those patterns might indicate about what will happen next. Have you ever experienced that frustrating moment when you have to repeat yourself multiple times to a digital assistant? That's a context failure. And it's not just annoying, it can seriously limit the usefulness of AI in critical applications. So what exactly makes up this Model Context Protocol? Let's break it down into a few key elements. First, we have context variables. These are the factors that influence how a model behaves. They could include user history, time of day, location, device type, or even more subtle things like patterns of interaction. Imagine you always check weather and traffic in the morning. A contextually aware AI would start to anticipate these needs at the right time. Then there's dynamic adaptation. This is the ability for models to adjust their behavior based on changing circumstances. You might notice this when your music app suggests upbeat songs during your workout hours, but switches to calmer tracks in the evening. The third component is collaboration standards, protocols that allow different AI systems to work together while maintaining contextual awareness. Think about how your smart home devices need to coordinate. Your doorbell camera recognizing a food delivery person should connect with your security system, understanding that this is an expected visitor. You might be wondering how all of this actually works behind the scenes. Well, it's a combination of sophisticated data structures that maintain memory of interactions, real-time processing capabilities that can quickly analyze new information, and carefully designed rules for how different types of context should influence model behavior. The impact of contextually aware AI is transforming industries in ways you might not even realize. In healthcare, AI systems that understand the full context of a patient's history can help doctors make better decisions. Imagine an AI that flags not just that a lab result is abnormal, but that it represents a significant change for this specific patient based on their baseline. That's contextual intelligence at work. Customer service has been completely transformed through contextual chatbots. Remember the days when each interaction with customer support felt like starting from scratch? Today's best systems remember your previous issues, account details, and preferences to provide seamless help. Even education is being personalized through contextual learning systems that adapt to each student's pace, strengths, and learning style, adjusting difficulty and approach based on how you're performing. And cybersecurity? Contextual AI is revolutionizing threat detection by understanding normal patterns of behavior so well that it can spot anomalies that would be invisible to traditional systems. Is that login attempt really you, or someone who stole your credentials? Contextual understanding helps make that critical distinction. You're probably interacting with these systems every day without even realizing it. That recommendation that seems eerily perfect? That's contextual AI working behind the scenes. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't address the elephant in the room. With greater contextual awareness comes serious questions about privacy and ethics. When an AI system remembers your preferences and behaviors to serve you better, where exactly is that data stored? Who has access to it? And how long is it retained? These aren't just technical questions, but deeply ethical ones that the industry is still grappling with. There's also an inherent tension between personalization and privacy. You might want your AI assistant to remember your coffee preferences, but not necessarily to record your private conversations. Finding that balance is tricky. Another major challenge is standardization. Without common protocols, we end up with contextual AI systems that can't effectively communicate with each other, creating digital silos rather than the seamless experience we're aiming for. You might be thinking, shouldn't we just have regulations for this? And many experts agree. But creating effective regulations for something as complex and rapidly evolving as contextual AI is incredibly difficult, especially when the technology crosses international borders. One of the most concerning aspects is the potential for contextual information to be used in ways users don't expect or consent to. What starts as helpful personalization can easily cross the line into surveillance if proper guardrails aren't in place. So where is all this headed? The future of contextual AI looks both exciting and challenging. We're moving toward what some experts call ambient intelligence, AI systems that understand context so well they can anticipate needs before you even express them. Imagine walking into your home after a long day, and your environment automatically adjusts temperature, lighting, and music based on subtle cues about your mood and needs. We're also seeing the development of more sophisticated memory systems for AI, moving beyond simple data storage to something more like human episodic memory, where experiences are connected in meaningful ways rather than just stored as isolated data points. Perhaps most importantly, there's growing recognition that users should have more control over contextual data. The future likely includes more transparent systems where you can see what context an AI is using to make decisions, and easily modify or delete that information if desired. Have you ever wished your devices were just a bit more intuitive about what you need? That's exactly the promise of advanced contextual AI, but it comes with the responsibility to build these systems ethically and transparently. Before we wrap up today's episode, let's quickly recap what we've covered about the Model Context Protocol. It's the framework that governs how AI understands and adapts to different situations, the social intelligence of artificial intelligence, if you will. Context matters because it's what makes AI interactions feel natural and helpful, rather than rigid and frustrating. The key components include context variables, dynamic adaptation, and collaboration standards. Industries from healthcare to education to cybersecurity are being transformed by contextually aware AI. And with these advances come important ethical considerations around privacy, standardization, and user control. I hope this episode has given you a new perspective on the AI systems you interact with daily. Next time your smart assistant seems to magically know what you need or frustratingly misses the point, you'll have a better understanding of the contextual frameworks working behind the scenes. In our next episode, we'll be discussing why it sometimes feels like your favorite chatbot makes stuff up as we look at AI hallucinations. Until then, this is Nova, signing off.